Okay, guys, so excited to be on and seriously, like thank you so much again, Morgan. So let's just hop right into this. I wanted to talk with you for a million reasons, but a lot of my team is newer or like people know a little bit about your story, but maybe not like the full story. So in a brief, obviously version, like, but with the good stuff, you know what I mean? Like tell everybody your story and not just like the quick story of joining, but like your story all the way through like where you're at today.
Yes. Okay. So, let me see if I can spotlight. Y'all know I'm the worst about this. Okay. Let me see if I can figure out how to use Zoom. Okay. So, my story is a little bit different than a lot of people's in this business. I feel like, so I joined this business in 2014. Yes. I realize that some of you 18-year-olds were like 12 and 11 when I started this business. It's fine. I know. So I joined this business because I was a broke college student. I was living paycheck to paycheck. I couldn't afford gas. I couldn't afford groceries. So I found this girl posting on social media about this opportunity, found it, used the products, was super skeptical. I used the products basically to prove her wrong. And then I loved the products and I was like, well, shoot. And then she was posting about the opportunity, making money. And I needed that opportunity. I needed a way to make more money because I was already working a full-time job and a part-time job and going to school full-time. So adding another job on top of that was not an option. And so I found this business that I could work into my schedule. It was perfect. It was exactly what I needed. All I wanted was $100 a month. Never expected to be here. Never thought I'd be here 7 years later. I kind of expected it to be a short-term thing while I was in college and then just kind of drop it and leave. Like I didn't know this was going to be a career for me, and that's not what I set out for. So I joined this business, got excited about it, saw the vision for it, and just like even the small stuff, like being able to make gas money and grocery money. And I did that pretty quickly. And I was like, well, maybe I could make $500 and like replace my part-time income. And then I did that, and I was like, maybe I could replace my full-time income and just like not have to work anymore. Like that would be pretty cool. So I just kind of like kept growing that vision from there, but still never really expected to be where I am now. And then so it took me 4 months in this business to go Ruby. And I didn't even know what Ruby was whenever I got started with this business, but that allowed me to make an extra $500 a month. And like I said, I joined just so that I can make $100 a month. So when I started making $500, $700 a month, I was so excited until I started looking around at everybody else. How many of y'all put a two in the chat if you have ever been caught in that comparison trap? If you don't put a two, you're lying, because even if it's not in this business because you're still brand new, you've been caught in the comparison trap in a different time of your life. And we all struggle with that, especially as women. I know we have some guys on here too, but girls especially struggle with comparison. And so I started to compare myself and look around at everybody else and wonder why I wasn't where they are. I started to second guess my abilities in this business. Like, am I cut out for this? Is this something for me? Maybe this isn't what I'm meant to do, because I should be here right now. I should be there right now. And I started to really just like get in this bad, nasty, vicious cycle that didn't feel good. The Bible says that comparison is the thief of joy, and that's exactly what it was doing. It was stealing all the joy that I felt from this business away from me. And it took this blessing of $500 to $700 a month and made it not enough. And I was no longer grateful for that. I became very selfish. And so I almost quit in 2015. I almost quit this business. Put a 3 in the chat if you're on my team and have joined since 2015. If you're on my team, none of you would have joined my team if it wasn't, if I had quit. Okay. And you might have joined the business, but you wouldn't have joined my team, and I never would know any of y'all. So it's pretty freaking cool that I stuck around and that I got to meet all of you, because as I'm seeing your names go, and I know there's more people too, but as I see your names go through here, I'm like, I can't imagine my life without these people. So I can't imagine not having met any of y'all. And so don't quit this business, because why in the world would I go back to what I was doing before, which was living in struggle and just like living less than paycheck to paycheck. It was hard. And there was a reason why I said yes to this business in the first place. And even though I wasn't where I wanted to be, I was a lot further along than I used to be. And so I decided one day, I was like, okay, I'm going to go all in with this. Like I can either choose to quit, or I can choose to do something different, like in the way that I work my business, and I can choose to move forward and learn and grow and use this as a time where I could like learn from it, right? Use it as like a learning tool instead of just quitting. So I said yes, I kept going, I kept pushing through. And then I ended up going on a cruise that they had, like an event that you could earn or whatever. And I earned a cruise as a Ruby. Okay, so all these events you all see people earning, like you can do it as a diamond or as a double, like at these smaller ranks, like you can do these things. So I was a ruby, went on this cruise, ready to quit, but then left with this new inspiration, with this encouragement, with this excitement, this passion. And it's truly just because I was surrounded by people like this. Like getting on Zooms is the exact same thing. 2015, they did not have Zooms, y'all. Okay, so this is the same thing. Same concept. Getting on things like this is going to increase your vision. It's going to increase your mindset and realize that you're worthy of so much more. So I left that cruise so excited, ready to run. And I just started going after all the things that I was so afraid to go after before. And I said, you know what? I'm going to set a goal to go diamond. And this year, whenever I go 22, or whenever I turn 22, so this is 2016, I am going to quit all of my jobs and I'm going to be a full-time stay-at-home person, college student. I wasn't a mom or a dog mom. I was just going to be a stay-at-home person. And I was just going to not have to work anymore and do this full time and live life on my own terms. And that's what I wanted at that time, because I worked jobs that I hated. You can still work your full-time job if that's what you love. Absolutely. Waiting tables and working at a shoe store was not my ideal of a good time. So I decided that I wanted to quit and I left that cruise. And 2 months after that, I promoted from Ruby to Emerald and Emerald to Diamond in the same day, earned $22,000 in bonuses, quit my full-time job and my part-time job. And I never have gone back to work since. I've never clocked into a job since 2016. And that was like March of that year. So it's been a little over 5 years. So I've been able to live life on my own terms. And so I quit my jobs. Then I got stuck. I got complacent. And at Diamond, I wasn't growing as a person. I wasn't doing self-development. That's huge. If you don't know what that is, maybe we'll talk about it later, but self-development's huge. I wasn't doing that. I wasn't leading my team. I was very selfish. I just did a lot of things wrong as a diamond, and I wasn't really getting plugged in. I wasn't going to events that they had offered, like conference and corporate events, like green carpets that they had. And I wasn't showing up. I wasn't doing those things. And so because of that, my business suffered, my mindset suffered, and I really got stuck in this, like, this is as far as I'm going to get. And I never believed I could go further than diamond. And I held myself at that rank for so long because I lacked the belief to get to where I was headed next. Put a 4 in the chat if you feel like, yeah, I need to grow in my belief to get to the next place. Like, to get to that next level, I've got to grow my belief that I can actually achieve that. Because for me, that's what I was lacking the most. And so I went to conference. Okay, y'all need to get to conference. If you are not already, if you don't have your conference tickets, you need to get it. I cannot explain this enough. And my story that I'm about to say is going to make you get a conference ticket by the end of this Zoom if you haven't already, because y'all, conference changed my entire life. So, but conference ticket, I finally bought it in 2017. I'm trying to get my years right. It's 2017. That year, okay, and I'm just going to paint this picture for you. This is going to be 100% like real raw, showing you all the numbers, giving you all the deets. Okay, so because I need you to see the vision for this. This is not a gloating session. This is not a look what I did and look how great I am. This is look what's possible with this business whenever you put your mind to it and whenever you continue to show up and when you don't quit in 2015 like you were going to, and you just keep pushing forward. Okay, so I went to conference in 2017, and for the first time, I finally believed in myself enough to claim the rank of double diamond, which is the rank after diamond. So I've been sitting at diamond at that time for about 11 months. And I said, I'm going to do it. I'm going to believe in myself, because if I don't believe in me, who the heck else will? Because I'm going to believe in me more than anybody else. So I'm going to believe in myself. I'm going to put the work in. I'm going to show up. I'm going to show up differently than I've been showing up, because that's got to change too. And so I showed up differently. And it did not happen overnight. Okay. I did not leave conference and just some magic fairy dust happened and I went double and everything was great. No, it still took 60 days. But in those 60 days, my team grew, my leadership grew, like so many things happened. And my team ended up going double on the 25th of the month in March. So that was, March. So I had officially been diamond for 13 months, went double on the 25th. Which means that it happened very effortlessly if you aren't familiar with that, if you're brand new. So it happened very easily that month. Then I told myself, I said, I'm never going to sit at a rank again for a whole year. Never going to do it. So Fast forward, I told my team, I said, let's run. And that time, instead of just picking whatever was the quickest on my chart, I pulled up the people that were actually working. And so instead of working with an emerald to get them to diamond that wasn't working and their other side of their chart wasn't working, I grabbed the ruby and said, are you ready to go diamond in the next 60 days? If I show you how to do this and I partner with you, are you ready to run and put in the work? They said yes, 3 of them. My husband now, he's my boyfriend at the time, he was my double for my triple. So literally everybody, I just grabbed him and I said, let's run. And it was like the Finding Nemo scene where they're in that big net and they're like, swim down, swim down. And they're all just, they have the same mission. They have the same goal. They're so excited. They're running or they're swimming in the same direction. They break the net, they get free, whatever, woohoo. That was what happened when I went from double to triple. It took us 60 days. So I promoted to double in March and I went triple in May. And so here's what I wanted to tell you. I started off that year at conference. I had about 10,000 in volume, which I know if you're brand new here, some of this won't make sense to you, but some of it, just like hearing the numbers, will still be impactful, hopefully. So 10,000 in volume, which means I was barely maintaining diamond. I had like 10,001 volume. Okay. Like it was not anything incredible. It was very, very minimal. And my paycheck was like $2,000, which was great. It allowed me to be able to stay at home. But I also had to put the trip to conference on a credit card. And I stayed in a room with 13 girls and told myself I would never do that again. Okay, it was a hotel room, regular size, standard size hotel room, y'all, 13 people. It was not fun. It was not a good time, but I would do it over and over again because of what I learned at conference to do what you have to do to get there. But anyway, so went into conference. That was my situation. 5 months later, in May, I ended the month with over 55,000 in volume and my paycheck was $13,000. It was over 13,000, 13 something. So I went from $2,000 to $13,000 in 5 months. Okay. And again, like I said before, my heart in sharing this is not like a hair flip, look at me. It's because that's what can happen in this business in that short of amount of time, because some of you feel so stuck that all you can see right now is like looking through a straw. All you can see is that little bitty tiny like speck of where you're at, and all you can see is right in front of you. But if you would remove the straw, you could see the whole big picture and see out your peripherals and realize that the whole situation, like there so many things are possible, and that it's not going to take a year for things to change for you. And maybe it will, but you have to be committed to the process enough to be here if it does take a year. But you also have to know that things can change so quickly that in the matter of a 90 days, your entire business can look completely different, and that's up to you. And so within that amount of time, and then I don't remember if it was the next month or 2 months later, I was still paid as a triple, so I hadn't promoted anymore. My paycheck went from 2,000 in January to July, it was 20,000. And as a triple diamond, and that was just within 6 months. That was a 6 month span. But here's what I want you to know that was super cool. At conference that I was at in January that year, 2017, I looked and I was 23 years old. Like I was not some 35-year-old making that kind of money. I was 23. Okay. Like money doesn't know age. Okay. So I was super young making this money, and you can do that too. So whenever, and 35 is young too. Okay. I'm not trying to offend anybody either. Like I'm not saying you're old over 35, but I'm saying like, I wasn't my age. I wasn't like this, whatever. Anyways. So I was at conference and I was up at like the nosebleeds. Like I needed binoculars to see people that were speaking on stage. And I'm looking at them and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. I want to speak on stage one day. Like there's a white couch. If you've ever been to conference, who knows about the white couch? You'll know what I'm talking about. You sit on a white couch. It's like this awesome thing. You're so excited. It's like this huge honor that they ask you to speak and share your tips and your story and all these things. So I was like, that white couch, I want to sit on that white couch one day. Like I'm looking down there. I have 2 girls with me at conference from my team, by the way, 2 people. One of them is still with me and she's going presidential. One of them is not, but she actually just texted me and she wants to join again. So anyway, they both probably looked at me like I was crazy because I was a diamond and like nobody knew my name. Like nobody knew who I was. And I was sitting in the 3rd row and I was like, I'm going to be on that couch one day. I'm going to speak on stage. And they were like, okay. And then they had the top 150 walk. And I was like, I'm going to be in the top 150. Do you see how my belief is growing? Because I went into that conference not even believing I could go double diamond. And I left that conference being like, I'm going to get on that stage. I'm going to be a top income earner. That's going to be me. Double diamond, here we come. Like, this is just a stepping stone because that's really where I'm headed. So it was so funny because my belief grew so much, but I set a goal to be a top, this is really funny now. I set a goal to be a top income earner, top 150 by 2021. LOL. Okay, I'll tell you the rest of the story in a second, but if you know my story, that's funny. Then I set a goal to just be on the white couch one day. That's what I said, just one day in general. I get a email or Facebook message, I can't remember what, in May, or in, I guess it was June. And they messaged me and they said, hey, we actually want you to speak on stage at our green carpet event next month because you have promoted so much and you've earned a lot of these bonuses, because we had earned $105,000 in bonuses in that amount of time too, by the way, between January and May. And so they were like, we want you to speak on how you earned all these bonuses for promoting. And so I sat on that white couch within 5 months of speaking it into existence and saying that it was going to happen. Notice that I put the work behind it. I didn't just say that and then just like expected it to magically happen. I put the work in and I sat there 5 months later. Then the end of the year comes around and they like give out top 150 numbers. And I'm not expecting anything because I didn't know what I was doing. And so one of my uplines was like, hey, you should go check your email and just see if you got a top 150 email. And I was number 148 that year already. So the year that I went into conference thinking that I was never going to get past diamond, I left conference with a vision to be a top 150 income earner by 2021. That's this year, y'all. That's this year. And I got it within that year. 2017, I was the number 148 income earner. And then from there, it's just gone up. And so I just feel so thankful that I went to that conference and that I was able to have that vision and to be able to believe in myself for the first time and probably ever at that level, and to see what hard work pays off, because it got me everything that year that I wanted. Like, I spoke those things into existence. So I went triple, and that was in May. Remember whenever I said I went double and I said I'd never sit at a rank for a year? Do y'all remember me saying that? Okay. What I learned after that was that sitting at a rank and being stuck at a rank are two completely different things. One is okay and part of the process, and one is a choice that I decided to make. So here's what I want you to know. You might be sitting at a rank that you've been at for a long time. In October, I will have been presidential for 3 years if I don't go ambassador before that. Okay. So when I went triple, I thought, well, I don't ever want to be at this rank. Like, I want to hurry up and go ambassador really quick. But what I realized is that being a triple, so I went triple in May 2017, promoted to presidential, almost said ambassador. You see how over presidential I am at this point? I keep saying ambassador. I'm ambassador, it's fine. I went presidential October 2018, so a little over a year. So I did sit at triple diamond for over a year. But what I realized is that there were more people promoting. I had diamonds promoting. My leadership was growing. I had things happening. My volume was increasing. My paychecks were awesome. There was growth happening. And I just shared this on our leadership Zoom right before this, but you have to realize that in that time frame, from me going triple to presidential, yeah, I was at that rank for whatever that is, 15 months, 16 months. But I wasn't stuck. And it's okay to sit at that rank when you see things happening, even though your E-suite doesn't change over to your next promotion, other people's are, and that's growth. That's stability. You're showing up, you're getting new people in the system. You have new people promoting, even to executive and Ruby. That's huge. You have growth happening on your team. And I never felt stuck at triple. I always felt like things were moving and that things were shifting and growing. And it was great. I loved being triple. It was fantastic. And then I went presidential. But what I realized is the difference is that being at diamond, whenever I said like I was stuck at diamond, I was stuck because I chose to be stuck because I refused to grow myself. I didn't do self-development, no matter how many times people preached to me the importance of it. I wasn't shooting for, getting people to Ruby and like helping them promote. I didn't care about helping other people duplication. And we're going to talk about that too, trying to hurry. But anyway, you wanted the good stuff. So I'm trying to like hopefully I'm answering a lot of questions in all of this. So anyways, there's a difference between being stuck and sitting in a rank. And so promoted to presidential in 2018. We almost hit ambassador last May. We hit everything that we needed on our chart. We missed it by 50,000 in volume overall. And that's okay, because even still, like, that's the thing. I don't feel stuck at presidential. I'm over presidential. If I'm being completely honest, I'm freaking ready to go ambassador. I already feel like I'm ambassador. Mentally, I'm triple 2.0. Physically, I am still a presidential in EC, but that's okay, because I see so many people growing. I see so many people getting excited on my team. I see newbies joining and getting their shopping sprees and earning $100 bonuses, and they're freaking out, texting me on Friday night at the movies. A girl named Isabella, she texted me on Friday. She said, I'm at the movies, but I had 2 hours left and I just did it. I got my 5th customer. Like, that's stuff that's happening on my team right now. And she was so excited, and that made me so excited. And I was like, this is what I'm here for. Ambassador is going to come when I just help enough people get what they want. It's going to help me get what I want to. So that's my story with all of the things. Oh, and we've been able to change our whole life because of this business. So that was because of it works.
And oh, by the way, gosh, so much goodness. And that's exactly like, you guys, when I asked Morgan to share a story, I'm like, but listen, I don't want like the little like fast story that corporate forces you to tell when you're on that white couch. Cause now Morgan speaks at like almost every event in the company. So like they literally rush you into like 30-second stories. And so I'm like, I don't want your 30-second story. Like I want the real raw. Like, so thank you so much. If you guys can relate to, or were just inspired by that, please give some love in the chat to Morgan, because like I love it. And I was able to like watch that story. And just so you guys know, I promoted to presidential in July of 2018, and I'm still pres. And it is so frustrating in some ways, but like you said, like sitting at a rank, I love that you spoke to sitting at a rank and being stuck at a rank. It's two totally different things. And but I do like, I know like how much you've been pushing, and I know like how much you're doing. And that's the thing. Like, I guarantee you, if I would have just said to everybody when they jumped on this Zoom, if I would have said, what rank is Morgan McIntyre? They're like, or sorry, Morgan Martin.
It's okay.
Morgan McIntyre is the name that I met
you. Okay. That'll be my name forever for most people.
Yes, yes. So if I would have asked, I know that they would have all said, oh, ambassador. And so, you know, like that's the thing, like you feel it, you're visualizing it, there's no doubt it's coming. But there's definitely been challenges along the way, and mindset things, like seeing people promote, like, you know, that you are hustling with, like, I mean, I'm not saying that you've had those things, because I don't know, but I know I have. Like I started the business, like my pace setters, like when I started, were Claire Flores and Lachelle. Okay, well, whoa. You know, and like for a while it was like always the same. Like we always hit these ranks at the same time. And then all of a sudden they just like both like way beyond, you know what I mean? And like you said, like comparison is the thief of joy. And that's really nice and easy to say on here. And we're going to tell you all not to compare. But I think like there are like peaks and valleys of, and that's why mindset is so important, because it teaches us, and it helps us get through those things. And I've never seen you waver. I've never seen you not hustling. Like you are such a hustler. It's like, and it does show up. You just earned the island. So give Morgan like some huge accolades, winning the freaking island, 18
Thank
people.
you.
That's amazing.
I'm so excited. I told my team too, but I was like, and Shay and I were just on a leader Zoom together, but we were talking about it because we both earned it. And like, I didn't do it for me. Like, it's cool, and I'm so excited to get to go. I'm very honored. Like, it's going to be fantastic, but it wasn't for me. I really just needed my team to see that I could do it, and that they could do it. Like, if I can do this, they can do this. And so a lot of what I do now isn't so that I can like do whatever or accomplish whatever. It's so that it's paving the way. And that's leadership. Like, you have to show other people what the heck is possible. And I know that's what you do too. Like, you're like, I don't really need this, but I'm showing you so that you can see that it's possible.
100%. Yeah. You've been given this like platform, and these people are being called into your team, and like it's like literally like changing them, and like they have to see like you're definitely somebody that leads from the front, and you inspire so many people. So I love that. So let's talk about I'm looking at my notes that I sent you. So like we talked about these things in your story a little bit, but I want you to really, you guys, I want to like reiterate that for those of you that don't realize, she went into conference as a diamond, making $2,000. And then now and she ended the year as a top 150 income earner. She was only triple diamond for like half of that year. So she was technically like a diamond, double, triple diamond as a 150 income earner. Like, that's incredible. And I think a lot of people don't realize that. So, one of the things that I know that you do speak on and people talk about anytime I ask in like a leadership thing, like, who knows comp plan really well? Everybody says Morgan. So I know you have Zooms out there that you've done and you've broke down the comp plan, but can you just give like your high level tips? Like somebody who's like, listen, like I want to chase the rank, but I also want to chase the bank. Like, what are your top 3 things to maximize the comp plan that people don't understand?
Okay, so I love talking about this because I'm very money driven. I'm very like whatever. So this is right up my alley. I love this so much. Put a 1, I forget where we're at. So put a 1 in the chat if you want to know how to make more money. And I know that that's not everybody's top motivation. I get that. But you all join this business for money at the end of the day. Like you might have joined for friends too, and you might have joined for this and that and the other thing. But at the end of the day, we could all use an extra income for gas, groceries, whatever it is that you started for. So here's the deal so comp plan is awesome. If you haven't read it, you can go read the comp plan in eSuite. It's in the document library. I also do have like a comp plan video, so I'm not going to go into as much detail as that video does. Go check that out. I think it's on my YouTube. Shay also has one on her YouTube that I did for her team. So one of the things that I would say for anybody at any rank, just brand new coming in, get your 5 customers every single week and get this $100 bonus. That's one thing I would say. That's super simple. That's easy. You can get 5 customers, find 5 people who want to drink coffee, 5 people who want to grow their hair out, get better skin. You know, we know that like we offer so many products, people want them. 5 people, help them get started with our products as a loyal customer, get $100. That's $400 a month. That's Ruby Pay at a distributor level. If you want to make money right away, do that. The other thing I would say is enroll those distributors. Help people get started with this business. And if you're like, well, I can't enroll distributors, that's why you're not enrolling them, because you keep saying that you can't. And you have to speak that into existence and start saying the things that you want and speak what is not as if it were. So I want you to start saying that you can enroll distributors and stop making it about you. That's one tip that I'd give you on distributor enrollments, is stop thinking I need to get these DTs so I can go Ruby. I want you to flip your mindset to whose life can I change today? Who can I help today? Because when you do, it makes you a lot less desperate in conversations. It makes you realize the types of people that you actually want on your team. And it makes the no not feel so personal, because it wasn't ever about you. You weren't messaging them for yourself. You were messaging them for you. And if they say no, that sucks for them. It really does, because we know what this business has to offer. And I know what they just said no to. I know what they're missing out on. And that doesn't suck for me. It sucks for them. But I know that they're going to keep watching me, and I know they're going to come back, and I'll be here when they do. So enroll distributors, because when you do, you get to help them get their shopping spree, which feels really good because they're so excited. They have a win. They're pumped. If they got 5 of those customers in a week, like Isabella just did, she gets a $100 bonus, and she only needs 1 more for her shopping spree. So that's super exciting too. And so they're winning, but you also get a $150 bonus when they get their shopping spree. So think about enrolling 3 distributors in 1 month. That's $450. And you also got 5 customers each week. You just enrolled 20 customers, 3 distributors, and you just made $850. Plus you get a commission check on the 15th of the next month. Who put a 2 in the chat if you're like, oh shoot, what? I didn't know I could do that. $850. Like, if you could make $850 in the next month with this business, would you do it? If you knew that that's all that you had to do, help people get started on the products, help people sign up and make extra money. You know, people who want to do both, go talk to those people. Claim it, speak it into existence. And then the other thing I would say too, and this is a big one, this is only going to apply for diamonds and above, but, well, okay, there's 2 other things, and they'll both apply to diamonds and above. So if you're not a diamond, you want to go diamond, and here's why. Because I just talked about something called a fast start bonus, which is where if I sign Lauren up, which I really wish I would have, but that's okay. If I sign Lauren up and she gets her 6 customers in her first month, I make $150 and she gets $150 shopping spree. Woohoo! We both win. Awesome. But because I'm a diamond rank distributor and I sign Lauren up and I'm already diamond and I sign her and she gets her 6 customers, I make $150 like always, like normal. But just because I'm diamond, I make an extra $80 on my paycheck. Just because I'm diamond and did the exact same thing. Put a 3 in the chat if you're like, I need to go diamond. What the what? What are you talking about? There's so much money. So those are called, well, they call them like leadership level, whatever bonuses, but we call them cabs. So whenever you think about cabs, that's a huge part of my paycheck. I wouldn't say it's like the biggest part, but it is a huge part of my paycheck. So I look at those cabs. I track those cabs. If you are a diamond and above and you are maintaining diamond and above, you need to be tracking your cabs. You can do that in the Fast Start Qualification by Period report in your eSuite. That's going to be there if you're a diamond and above. And you're going to be able to see all of those. I put them in a spreadsheet. I track them, I highlight them, I mark them off, I message the people who enrolled them, I message the person that's the newbie, I make sure that they're doing everything that they can to get those customers, and if they can't, I will. I'm committed to getting every single one of those on my own if that's what it takes, but I don't want to do that. I want to empower them to do that, and that's I'll also find like new leaders rising on my team is by seeing those people in those reports. So if you are a diamond and above as well, you want to get to double with a personally enrolled diamond as fast as you can. Because when you go double and you have somebody that's on your team that's a diamond, you make 4% off of them because they're a diamond on your first level, or your first gen, whatever. So then whenever you enrolled them, you make an extra 5%. So basically, let's just say that I'm a double diamond and I enrolled Lauren and she just went diamond and she has about 10,000 in volume. That's a good diamond volume. I'm making an extra $900. That's 9% on my paycheck just because I enrolled her and she's a diamond. And she has about 10,000 in volume. So that's $900 on my paycheck. And by the way, I enrolled Lauren and I was a diamond when I enrolled her. So she got her shopping spree. I make an extra $80 just because I'm a diamond on my paycheck. But then Lauren goes and enrolls Gail. And Gail gets her shopping spree. I don't even know who Gail is. And she just got her shopping spree and I just made $80 on my paycheck. So I'm about to go know who Gail is. I'm about to go figure out who she is. Then she signs Alicia and Annette and Latasha. They all get their shopping spree. 80, 80, 80. And I don't even know who they are. And then Alicia goes and signs 2 people. They each get their shopping spree. I get 80 on them and 80 on them. And it just keeps on adding up. So if you want to make a lot more money, use the things that are out there, weekly bonuses, fast start bonuses, get to diamond ASAP, track your cab reports, and then make sure that you go double with somebody on your team that is a personally enrolled diamond. If there is nobody on your team that's working that's personally enrolled, go with the people that are working. Okay, I'm not saying that personally enrolled trumps everything. Work with who's working, but you better start enrolling some distributors so that you can have people that are working that are personally enrolled to you, that are your runners, that are your people that are the highest up in your organization. So that's like in a nutshell, but put a 4 in the chat if you're like, I'm about to go diamond tonight, let's go. Because that's where, like, if you hear Mark, you're going to notice this now because I've said it. But if you hear Mark, he's going to say, whenever you go diamond, you unlock the whole compensation plan. You have the, what did he say? The license to print money. That's what he always says. And that's why he says it, because of the cabs that I was talking about. So make sure that you go for that. But yeah,
so much goodness, you guys. And if you just had some breakthroughs and ahas, I mean, you can see in the chat, like so many breakthroughs, so many people are like, what? Like it's incredible. And this comp plan, that's what I tell people all the time. Like, I'm not very green, but like when people are like, how do we get paid? I'm like, I don't really totally know. I just know like it's really, really great. And just go diamond and beyond and enroll and sponsor people and help them. And your checks are going to make you really, really happy. So I love that you just broke that down. So that being said, though, a huge part of unlocking the comp plan and maximizing the comp plan has to do with enrolling. And so that's like one thing that I notice about you every single week is that you're always a leader in enrollments, especially like one thing I want you to specifically talk about is distributors. And also this is kind of where we can talk about the TikTok thing too. And like a discouraging thing that people probably don't know, but Where are you getting the majority of your leads for distributors? About how many distributors are you signing a month? And are you messaging for them? Are they coming to you? Do you use the application? Like, so many things have changed like since COVID, and people are just ebbing and flowing. Like, how are you signing all of these people?
So it's really bad. I actually don't know how many distributors I sign every month. I would say it's no less than 10 ever, but sometimes it'll be 30, sometimes it'll be closer to like 15, 20. I don't actually really know. But it's at least 10. So I'm at least completing my success a few times. So which is the 6 customers and 3 distributors. So I'm doing that at least a few times every month. And then most of my distributor enrollments come from TikTok, Reels, and Instagram. I use Facebook for sure, and I get a lot of people from Facebook, but that's mostly them reaching out to me first through like my posting. So a lot of attraction marketing. I'm posting about my life, sharing about the business, talking about my story, offering the opportunity to them. They're watching me, then they're reaching out to me. And I add a lot of people on Facebook through using Host to Post. Who loves Host to Post? I love it. It's awesome. If you're not using Host to Post, you need to, but I love Host to Post, and that gets me a lot of new people watching my posts. So that's where I get my distributors mostly. The big thing that I do is posting on my stories. I am so consistent on posting on my stories for that reason. I want people to see my life. I want them to see what I'm doing. I know that if I can share enough about my life, they're going to connect with me, and then they're going to buy into the business opportunity. So I'll go on my story and I'll share my story on pictures. Like I'll have pictures that I do, and I'll put like words on there and says like, hey, I have a lot of new followers. I might not have a lot of new followers, but I'm going to say that I do. And I'm going to say I have a lot of new followers. I want to introduce myself, blah, blah, blah. And then like, I'll tell a little bit about my family. Like I'll show different pictures about like me and my dog and my husband and all these different things. And I talk about what this business has done for me. And I talk about where we're going. If you are brand new in this business, guess what? You can still talk about that because you have hope now to pay off the debt that you still had yesterday, that you still have today, even though you just joined this business 24 hours ago. You can talk about the friendships, the encouragement, the hope, the excitement, the passion that you have now for this opportunity. So you can post about that and then offer the opportunity to them. So I always have them post about that, I always post and have them to message me about that, like either message me opportunity, message me info, like whatever. Then I just start the distributor conversation with them and I ask them, I give them all the info. So then one thing that we do too on my team is we do every other week, I go live on my Facebook with a couple of my leaders and we talk about different objections that people have. So we just did one last night. If you want to go look on my Facebook, you can see that. So every other Sunday night we do this. And it's just like 30 minutes and we hop on there and we invite everybody that we've talked to for the last 2 weeks. And everybody tags everybody that they've been talking to. And they're like, hey, watch this. And we ask them beforehand, like, do you want more information? And that helps me seal the deal all the time. I talked to a girl on FaceTime today named Sarah. She's one of my new girls. And she was like, I've been watching you for like a year and then you just went live one night and you were talking about all these things. And I just decided it was my time to get started. So she wasn't even somebody I invited to that. She just saw it on my Facebook. And my team shares it to their Facebooks and they have people reach out to them from that. So that helps us seal the deal a lot. I see a lot of questions coming in the chat, but I have ADD, HD in high definition. So I'm going to look at those in a second. I'm not ignoring you. I will come back to those. Okay. So that helps me a lot. And then for Instagram, I do have an influencer application. You can do that through It Works. You can also do that if you just look up influencer application. Kayla Gilbert a while back did a video on YouTube about how to make an influencer app super easy. So I do that. And then I have them at the end of that. I say, DM me, I applied. So I actually don't go through my applications. They just DM me, I applied. And then I act like I've read through it. And I tell them like, here, the information and go through the potential distributor conversation from that. And then, so a lot of my Instagram followers come from Reels or TikToks, and I just get them over to my Instagram. And so they're watching me because I don't want them to just like message me a word on my phone, like info, because I can't see a face. Like I need to connect the dots. Like I don't want to just have like some random number texting me. I need to be able to see who this person is, see what they're about, all these different things. And I want them to see what I'm about because I know that one conversation is not going to get them interested, but I need them to watch my life. I need them to be watching me for longer. So I get them on my Instagram and that's helped me a ton too. So I know you mentioned TikTok and I mentioned that too. So I actually haven't really shared this a lot because I didn't want it to discourage anybody. So I'll kind of like back in this with something too. But my TikTok got deleted. I don't even know, like maybe a month ago. And it's funny because I started posting videos and I was doing it super consistently. And then at one point earlier this year, every video I posted, business or not business, popped up as violated community guidelines and it would blur out my video and it wouldn't show it. So I'd have to repost it. So I kind of chilled out on TikTok, honestly, like a couple months ago to let it just kind of like fizzle out so that I could come back and it wouldn't ban all my videos. And then one of the girls on my team, she was like, hey, I can't find you on TikTok. I was like, darn it. And so I went to my TikTok and sure enough, it logged me out. I sent an appeal. It said they won't give it back. So my TikTok's gone forever. Had almost 1 million followers. So that kind of sucks. But here's the deal. I didn't let it get me down because I already, one, I built a TikTok once, I can just do it again. Number two, it is what it is. And me being like pissing and moaning about it isn't going to make it better. And it's only going to slow me down. So it is what it is. And I hadn't been using it for the last few months and kind of switched more over to Reels anyway, because it was a little bit more relaxed over there, I found, because TikTok was not letting me do anything anymore. So I've done Reels, and all the people on TikTok that were actually interested they already added me on Instagram. So they've already been talking to me on Instagram or following me or whatever. So I didn't really lose a whole lot. And I always like, this is where faith comes in. I'm like, the right people added me on Instagram and the other ones I just weeded out, and I'm going to start over again. And God's going to bless my efforts on TikTok again whenever I go over there. So I'm not super worried about it, but so that was, it just sucks because that's how I grew a following really quickly. But yeah, so that's how I enroll distributors. I don't remember what the question was. Did I answer everything?
Yes, no, you did, because yes, we talked about a lot of things. So like, other than you were a heavy enroller, and it's kind of pointless to talk about things that were like not relevant to today's times, but like you're not messaging people on Instagram for you, like you're not messaging people like, hey girl, I think you'd be amazing at this business. Like you're getting so many leads to you and you're doing the work by Reels, consistency on your stories, and letting people into your life and growing your network that way. And then on Facebook, you're doing it through host to post, which I'm assuming you do host to post where you don't have them put up a post of like a product for you. You're growing your network through that. Is that how you do
Well, I
host to
do.
post?
So on Facebook, I do have them post about a product, but because I'm adding so many new people and I'm always like, after they post for me, I'll say, by the way, I wanted to let you know too that I have spots open if you want to earn extra income, or if you were interested in the products too, I wanted to offer that to you. So then they'll tell me about one of the two. I haven't really signed a lot of distributors from that. I have girls who swear by that, and that's where they get all their distributors from. It's funny because like everybody's so different, but I always do that and I get customers from that, and I get people watching me. Like I'm planting seeds for distributors by doing that, but I never really sign anybody from it. And then as far as Instagram, I don't personally message on Instagram, and that is 110,000% not saying that you should not message, because whenever my new distributors come to me and they're like, what should I do? I'm like, message. It doesn't work for me, but why? It doesn't mean this is not going to work for you. And like, like I need something that's duplicatable for them. So I tell them to do distributor host to post. I tell them to send messages, like do everything. And I think that's kind of like the theme of this is like, instead of asking like, well, what do I need to do to enroll? What are you not willing to do to enroll? And at this point, there's nothing I'm not willing to do. So if what I was doing now wasn't working, and if I was solely using TikTok and it got shut down, best believe I'd be using distributor host to post. I would be sending 50 messages a day. I'd be doing anything I could to get these distributors and to find these people that need an extra income to change their life. So I would be doing whatever, but what I'm doing now is working. And so that's what I do. But I'm not saying that you shouldn't message. I'm not saying that's bad. I'm not saying don't use TikTok because I'm not using TikTok. I'm not saying any of that. I'm saying do whatever the heck it takes, because that's what successful people do.
Yeah, so good, you guys. Like, and that's the thing. Like, it's all about like doing what works and trying and trying and trying. And so I know somebody's gonna come to me and they're gonna say, but Lauren, I've been doing reels and I don't have anybody filling out my application or DMing me about the opportunity. So how often are you doing reels? How consistent are you? Like, I know we just talked about your consistency with stories, but like how consistent are you with posting in reels?
So at my best, when I'm doing reels, I'm doing like 5 a week probably. So what I do for that, because I want to make it easy on myself, I'm setting up a bunch of them in one day and I'm posting them throughout the week. So I might do like 20 videos in one day. It'll take me like 30 minutes, 45 minutes. I'll make a bunch of videos like pointing to different stuff, like doing whatever, and I'll post it tomorrow, and then I'll post another one not about the business the next day, or like that day, and then I'll post a couple more the next day. So I usually do like 2 a day when I'm like at my best. So that's kind of what I do, and it helps me get some followers too. And obviously not every video blows up, but there's power in numbers, and that's why I'm so consistent with it. So I usually just kind of take some time every now and then to go through and save a bunch of the ones that I love, and then I'll go back through my collections, and that's where I find the ones that I'm going to remake.
Love so much. And I'm backtracking a little bit, but can we all just talk about the mindset here? Like she's like, I'm not gonna like piss and moan about the TikTok getting shut down because what's that getting me? Like if you all like were like, dang, I literally just like freaked out because somebody wanted to cancel their loyal customer account this morning and decided I was gonna quit the business. And she just like lost her entire TikTok and 1 million followers and is just like, whatever, let's keep going. Like who just had like a little check, because I know that like mindset is just amazing here. And I hope you guys are catching on to that. It's all about speaking life. The words that she even uses when she explains like what she does, like there's so much to be said for all that. So I'm loving that so much. So one thing that you just talked about was duplication. I need to give people things that are duplicatable. One of the things that I love about you too is that you have a team that takes off. You're very invested in them and their success. What does your first 30 days look like? How do you teach duplication? Like, what do you do with your distributor when they start?
Okay, so with the limited amount of time we have, I'm going to tell you about a Zoom to go to. So I'll give you some tips, but you're going to really want to go look at popping rubies consistently, I think is the name of the video. And I can find it and send it to you in case y'all can't all find it, but it's on I misspelled consistently, but I don't care. It's on YouTube and you can go find it on my YouTube. So but that's gonna help you a lot because that's how I talk about how I get people to Ruby. But what I do, so somebody joins my team today and I go through a training with them, probably very similar to the one that y'all have set up for your team. It's just something super simple, getting them in their e-suite, having them message right away, teaching them host to post. Then after that, I'm texting them every day for 30 days at least. Okay. So I am lovingly stalking them, is what I like to call. Like, I am up their butt, like asking, like, how is your day? How is your kid? How is life? How is host to post? Like, how are your messages going? Do you need help with follow-ups? Like, asking them everything, and I am lovingly stalking them, and my newbies are like, yup, she texts me every day. So they know that I'm going to text them every single day for a month because I want to help them, and I know that those first 30 days are so crucial because that's the tipping point where people see, like, am I going to stay or am I going to leave? And let me just preface all this by saying at some point you can't control if people stay or go. Okay. So this is not a end all be all fix all. This is something that's just going to help you to keep your people longer and help them see the vision for what's possible here. But you don't have to have the weight of that, of like, oh my gosh, if I do one thing wrong, then they're going to leave. That's where faith comes back in too. Like, I have the faith that like God's going to bring the right people into my team at the right time for the right amount of time. Some people are going to be here for a moment and some people are going to be here for a season. And I know that they're going to be here for however long they're meant to be here. And I just bless them in and bless them out. Like, a girl on my team was like, I thought about it this weekend. I don't really want to do this. I was like, okay, that's fine. Like, no big deal, but come back, know where to find me. So whatever, like but you just have to take some of that weight off, but then also realize that you have to do everything that you possibly can. That if she does say that, I did everything I could. Like, I know I showed up for her. She didn't quit because I'm not a good leader. And it doesn't mean that I'm a great leader, but she didn't quit because I wasn't there for her. And so I don't have to carry the weight of that. And I think a lot of us do. So after I go through their initial training, and this was like a big thing for a lot of people on my team because they were like, well, you say text them every day for 30 days. Like, what you texting them? And I'm like, I don't know, just like whatever pops in my head, I guess. Like, here's a post, or like, hey, you need help with this? Like, I don't know, here's a tip right here. I didn't have a system. So one of the greens on my team struggled with that very heavily. She was like, what's like, we need something that like is that everybody can use. And so we came up with something that's a checklist. And so we go through that, and I can send that to you, Lauren. It would be like a picture because she made it, so I don't have the file. But we went over stuff that we want to teach them. So it's doing initial training. We FaceTime all of our new distributors within their first 72 hours to a week, making sure that we're getting in contact with them face to face. So it's not just like some robot on the other side of a screen, because most of them met me through social media. So I want to make sure that they know who I am as a real person. I introduced them to their co-sponsor, and that's been huge because I know after those 30 days, it's really going to be up to their co-sponsor to reach out to them every single day. And I'm checking in every couple of days with them because I just enroll so many people, and they have a smaller team that they can really give them the attention that they need. And I can be there to kind of oversee everything and check in and do a quick little FaceTime here and there to help them with their charts. But overall, it's really that co-sponsor from there. So I introduce them to them, and we do all the rest of their training from that point forward in that group chat. So I just introduced a couple of my girls to some people that I placed them with. And so anytime that I'm like messaging those girls in the morning now, I'm doing it in that group text, and we're talking in there together, so that if I'm not available, that person jumps in. If they're not available, I'm texting them back. So they have two people helping them, and it's a lot harder to quit on multiple people that believe in you. And so we're showing them that right from the start. And so we're doing that. We're doing Facebook settings to make sure that it's not just a bunch of host posts, branding yourself, all those things. We're teaching them how to do that stuff. And once we do, we are checking those things off from there. Usually it's just, let me help you with conversations. Here's a post to put up. Let's work on some, signing distributors. Let's get your Ruby chart out. It's really just those simple things that we do every single day that we forget that they don't know, And so today it was a huge eye opener because a lot of my girls are like asking the same questions and like running into the same like thing. And I was like, oh, I should talk about that. So that's what I'll be sending them tomorrow. It was like, okay, let's talk about this again, and like how to get new followers on Instagram and Facebook so that you can have new people to message. So, yes, that's what I do.
So much goodness, so much goodness. And the last thing that I had on our list, we had already talked about, because they said, what would you tell somebody who is sitting or stuck at a rank, which I feel like we talked so much about in your story. So leave us with one thing. Like if there's one thing that you wanted to tell us that wasn't on our list today, like one thing that you would just leave our team. We have a wide variety of brand new all the way through people who've been here for 10 years. So what is one thing that you would leave us with?
I would just say, believe in yourself. Like that was the thing that I was missing for so long. And when I believed in myself, everything started to shift, and it didn't happen overnight. Like I told you, like I left and like my mindset was completely like 180. I started to believe in myself, and it still took 60 days for that to show up in my E-suite where I promoted. But that belief changed the way that I showed up every single day for those 60 days leading up to me changing in the E-suite. Like I showed up different as a leader. I showed up different, and I got different enrollments. Like the quality of the people were better that I was enrolling because I showed up differently, because I believed in myself. I believed that it was possible. I believed that I was worthy of enrolling people who were rock stars. I believed that every single person that I enrolled was going to be a future diamond, and that I was going to help them get there. I believed that I could make paychecks that were more than what I was making at that time. I put a ceiling over myself. And what you have to realize too is that your lack of belief trickles into your team. If I didn't believe that I could go into the island, then my team wouldn't believe that they could do it either. But my belief, and there was another event before that I didn't believe I could go to, and I didn't earn it. And it really trickled into the rest of the 6 months after that, of the lack of belief that I kept feeling because I just believed that I couldn't make it. And so then my brain made that happen, so that I manifested not getting there, and I didn't do it. And so my whole thing, with believing in yourself, it shows other people that it's possible. When you have this ceiling of what you believe is possible, whether it's income, whether it's enrollments, whether it's your rank, whether it's not even in this business, whether it's just your belief in general in yourself, you're also putting that lid on other people, because you are, what's the word? Casting that onto them. You're putting that on them too. So you feel like you don't believe in yourself, but you believe in them. But how can you believe in somebody if you don't even believe that you can do it? And so belief starts with you, and they're going to see you accomplish things that they never thought was possible, but you're going to show them that it's possible because you believe that it can happen. And so believing in yourself starts with surrounding yourself with other people that believe in you, because a lot of times things like this were what grew my belief in the beginning of the business. But then I would leave and I'd go back to work, and I'd be surrounded by people who I told them, I said, I'm going to quit this job. I'm going to quit this job and I'm never going to come back to it. And I'm going to replace this full-time income. And you know what my boss said to me? he said, okay, well, whenever that doesn't work out for you, you can have a job back here. Like, we'll give you have a spot here. Like, we love having you work here. You can have your job back. I said, I will never be back here. And just because you said that, I'm working even that much harder to not come back here because I don't want to prove you right. And so even he didn't believe in me, and he meant it in a really nice way. Like, he genuinely meant, like, we're sad to lose you and we don't want you to go, so you can always come back here. But I didn't want that. I wanted him to say, you go for it. You got this. You can do it. But that's not what he said. He didn't believe in me. There are so many people around you right now that don't believe in you. And it is so important now more than ever to surround yourself with people who do, because you're going to have this belief in yourself when you get off this Zoom. And you have to be very aware of the people that you are listening to, the things that are going in your ears and in your eyes and in, like, that are coming out of your mouth, that you're speaking that belief, that you have to listen to that belief, that you have to continuously put yourself in positions where people believe in you and that belief is there. Otherwise, you're going to fall right back into that same trap that you started in at the beginning of this Zoom, where you didn't believe in yourself, because you have that same vicious cycle of people telling you that you can't do it. So you have to watch what you listen to, watch what you watch. So if you're watching all these things of, I don't even know, like, what would be an example, but like, thinking of things in a different way, in a different perspective, listening to self-development books whenever you drive instead of listening to a bunch of like songs. Like, y'all know that song Young, Dumb, and Broke? I will not listen to that song because it talks about being young, dumb, and broke. I'm like, why would I listen to that song? I don't want to be any of those things. So I'm not going to listen to that. Well, I would like to be young, but I don't want to be any of those things. So I'm not going to listen to that. It's things like that that you have to realize that they're actually more important than they really are. And I know that's funny, but seriously, I won't listen to that because it's not in alignment with where I'm going. It doesn't attract what I want into my life. It's not manifesting more of the things that I'm going after. And so I'm listening to self-development. I'm listening to books. I'm listening to Winning the War in Your Mind by Craig Rochelle. I'm listening to Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. I'm listening to Atomic Habits, Miracle Morning. Like, there's so many different books that you can listen to that are going to help fill up your mind with belief, that are going to drown out the other people, because you're still going to have those people around you, because you can't get rid of your mom, you can't get rid of your sister or your aunt or whoever that's telling you they don't believe in you. But what you can do is you can have the belief of your own mind so loud that it drowns out what they say, and you just really don't care what they have to say anymore. They're still chattering away, but you just don't believe it anymore because you believe in yourself so much. You believe in this opportunity. You believe that the Lord's placed you here for a reason. You know that He did not bring you to this place to just bring you to this far, that He has a plan for you, that He has a plan, that a vision for your life, that He put this in your path for a reason, that He did not just dangle the carrot in front of your face and say, oh, you should do this. Haha, just kidding. That's not the God that I serve. So I know that He has planted me here for a reason. I know that He has put me here for a purpose, and that He is going to make sure that that purpose comes to pass. And so I don't have to worry or struggle or wonder if other people believe in me, because I know that He does. I know that He believes in me. He has me here for a purpose and a plan. And I'm going to live that out by believing in myself and believing in the people that are surrounding me. And I'm going to surround myself with people that are believing in me as well.
Oh my goodness. I could just listen to you talk and talk and talk and talk. Thank you so much, Morgan, for all the words, all the inspiration, all the realness. I know that you've had like such a hard year and such a blessed year too, but you've come out like you're just a rock star at all times. And so for taking the time to lead our team, a sideline team tonight, I so appreciate it. I know my team was like, when I put the little thing up and said, that you were guest speaking on our Zoom, like that it blew up. Everyone loves you so much, and there's a reason for that. So thank you for being a servant leader and so selfless. I'm just very blessed to know you in this business, and I'm so excited to continue to cheer you to all the greatness along the way of your journey to ambassador. But you are ambassador, you should already know. So
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you so much. That's so sweet. I really appreciate y'all for sticking on so long. I know we kind of went over, and sorry that we had to like switch codes and all the things. It was kind of a hot mess, but that's what we do. We just roll with it, right? So thank y'all for having me. This was awesome. I was so glad. Thank you for letting my team jump on here too.
oh my
Um,
gosh.
this was so good. I'll be sure you get the recording, and I can send you the recording of the Ruby thing too. And I'll send you a picture of the chart thing for training. So I'll send you all that stuff. But thank you so much. I love
Thank
you
you,
guys. Hope
Morgan.
y'all have an awesome week. Bye, everybody.
Bye.